And there it is. Even George W. Bush now recognizes Trump, his supporters, and those who directly participated in the 1/6 coup attempt are terrorists, surely as the 9/11 ones were. I'll say it again, Trump damaged America in the way bin Laden only dreamed of. Dude, this is what I actually wanted to talk about today. Okay? This is a big part of what I wanted to talk about today after, like, really offering, like, a better way for Zoomers to comprehend, like, exactly how fucking horrifying the world was for Muslims internally, what the American government did with respect to fucking, our war on terror, domestic surveillance state, all this shit, and where we've gotten now. So now that you understood, like, what the attitude was at the time, I need you to understand, like, now there is a concerned effort by liberals and even some of those, like, good Republicans to say that January 6th is just like 9/11, if not worse than 9/11, and blah, 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 all this shit, okay? It's not. It's just not, okay? That's not true. It literally is not true. If you were to say that, like, COVID is worse than 9/11, then yes, that is true. I would agree with that. COVID has been worse, pound for pound, than 9/11, 100%. But the people that try to say, like, oh my God, the January 6th, like, oh my God, January 6th, like, no, motherfucker. You know what was worse than January 6th? Not Ted Kaczynski. Who was the other one? The fucking Unabomber? Not Unabomber, sorry. The fucking Oklahoma bomber. Timothy McVeigh. Yeah. That was a worse fucking white supremacist act on act of domestic terror on U.S. soil than January 6th. Like, that's significantly worse. That, of course, happened in 1995. But remember, that was a white guy. So obviously we never fucking thought that was like a serious problem. Don't get me wrong. Because when white supremacists do domestic acts of terror, then it literally doesn't matter because those guys are just like manifesting or demonstrating their patriotism in ways that where they're doing too much patriotism. You know what I mean? But there's more complex reasons for why he must have done the terrorism. Okay? It's just mental health, really. Come on. Stop being a lib. But when it's a fucking brown person, it's like, oh, dude, what the fuck? Anyway, January 6th was bad, but it's not worse than 9/11.
It's incorporated into our lives.
Don't be ridiculous.
Both sources of comfort and reminders of our vulnerability. And we have seen growing evidence that the dangers to our country can come not only across borders, but from violence that gathers within. There is little cultural overlap between violent extremists abroad and violent extremists at home. But in their disdain for pluralism, in their disregard for human life, in their determination to defile national symbols, they are children of the same foul spirit, and it is our continuing duty to confront them. The security measures.
Why people compare January 6th to 9/11? Because they want to make a fucking political point. Like, January 6th is Donald Trump's 9/11, right? That's 9/11, but Donald Trump caused it. Now, January 6th is like, it's important. It is actually very important. I mean, it was a fucking hog insurrection. Like, let's be real. But they're trying to create a narrative that, like, January 6th is the same as 9/11 when, like, I would be a little bit more careful about what we did after 9/11. And I don't think it's exactly the right thing to do, even if it's for fucking domestic terrorists. Like, the Michigan governor kidnap plotting is the exact, like, I hate these dudes, okay? You know me. I hate these fucking white supremacist hogs. You know this. I make fun of them all the goddamn time.
America
Like,
deserves
all the
Hasanabi.
goddamn time. But what we're trying to do, what the FBI is trying to do now with like those fucking hogs is exactly the same as like the disabled Muslim teenagers and shit that they propped up to do terror. Like they're literally doing the exact same thing now for all these fucking hogs. And all that's going to happen is just our civil liberties are going to be further eroded. Okay? Horrible take. I'm not in favor of finding fucking, like, literally intellectually disabled, dumbass fucking white supremacists and making it seem like, and giving them the arms and egging them on to, like, actually take action against the Michigan governor. Okay? In the same exact way that they did for, like, Muslim kids for years to just turn around and be like, yeah, we did that. That was so sick. Reported for racism?
I'm going to 9/11. Who wants something?
You literally fucking tried to say the N-word, dude. Like, yeah, how about you got reported for racism?
R.I.P. Salvador.
No need to attack the disabled. I'm not attacking the disabled. I'm literally saying that the FBI literally created false terrorist attacks in an effort to continue justifying, the amount of funds and the amount of efforts they were spending on thwarting terror attacks. But when there was no such terror attacks, they fucking created ones themselves. Okay? That's not the case. The FBI used informants, not what you're saying. Oh, yeah? Really? They were just informants? They weren't, like, purposely egging these motherfuckers on? And it's now coming out that they were actually a lot more involved in facilitation of the kidnapping attempts than what we previously thought, in a nearly identical scenario to, like, half of the fucking Muslim terror attacks that they stopped. Is there a very real movement or momentum amongst, like, these white nationalists, white supremacist, domestic terror cells? Certainly. They get fucking funding and legitimacy from the top. And no, I'm not relating the targeting of Muslims, Middle Easterners to the FBI going after people involved in 1-6. I'm simply stating that there are larger systemic problems to address with the way that we deal with fucking white supremacist terror. I will never believe that the FBI is doing a good thing, okay? It's not going to happen. Just because they're going after my enemies ideologically and people who I think are fucking dumbass and horrible human beings does not change the reality that we cannot fucking, erode their civil liberties. Because the reality is when their civil liberties get eroded, yours will too.